Hey everybody, welcome back to KimmelsIrishPub.com. This is going to be another movie review. Tonight we are going to be reviewing Going in Style. So Going in Style is about three older gentlemen who are having a hard time paying their bills, so they decide to have a plan to knock off a bank. So it sounds interesting. Alan Arkin, Morgan Freeman, and Michael Caine are the three stars in this one. So it should be, obviously some great acting, and it sounds like an interesting concept. So I'm excited to see what it's about. Interestingly enough, Zach Braff is the director. You might recognize that name from Scrubs or Garden State. There are two movies that one was a TV show, the other movie that he's in. So I didn't realize that when I picked this movie to watch tonight and put a little review together. I really recognize Morgan Freeman and the actors, of course, Alan Arkin and Michael Caine. So it looks like IMDb is giving this a 6.7. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit better than that, but who knows? So I'll get started on this and let you know how it's going throughout the movie. Again, once I find something interesting or something I want to talk about, I will go ahead and check back in with you. So hang in there, watch this with me, and I'll talk to you in a little bit. Hey everybody, welcome back. Already talking to you at the 6-minute and 54-second mark in the movie. Again, this is Going in Style, and it's about three older gentlemen who have a tough time paying their bills and decide to knock off a bank. So the opening scene is basically Michael Caine goes into a bank to talk about a letter about foreclosure that he has received, and the bank gets robbed. Obviously, that's where they get the idea, I'm assuming, a little foreshadowing into the future, of when they get the idea to knock off a bank later on in this movie. But I'm not even 7 minutes into the movie and I'm stopping it already. Because it made me start to think, it's like, you think about that type of situation for yourself. If you're ever in a bank and somebody comes in and rob it, what would you do? You know? And you'd probably like lay down, stay still. I think I would comply with whatever they say. The only thing that I think about too is they can have whatever cash that they want from me, but I'd hate for them to take my entire wallet. You know how terrible that would be if they take your wallet, they take your ID. Maybe they're not going to do anything with it, but you have to go get a new ID. They take all your credit cards, your shopping benefit cards, your gold cards or your CVS cards or whatever they are. They take all of them, and you know what I mean? Like, hey, take all my cash and anything that you want, and that's fine, and I'll lay here and comply with everything that you do. But when they start taking all the other stuff, that's just going to be such a hassle that you have to go back and get your picture taken for your driver's license, and go out and cancel your debit card and all the other cards that you had in your wallet, and probably some that you even forgot about. You have to cancel them all and get all new ones, so you're kind of stuck in the mud until you get new cards delivered to you. Luckily, I think a lot of us now do a lot of banking online, so it shouldn't be that much of an issue, but there is an occasional time where you have to actually go into a bank, and what if it got robbed, and what would you do? I don't know if you've spent a lot of time thinking about that, but after barely 7 minutes into the movie, that's the first thought that I had. It's so far pretty good, little comedy. Obviously, I think there's going to be a lot of comedy in this movie, especially with these three actors. And I'm expecting a lot, but I thought I'd stop it right away and start sharing with you what I was thinking, especially during the bank robbery. So there's a lot more to come, so hopefully I have a lot more check-ins with you. Stick around, watch this movie with me, alright? Okay, I'm going to check in here real quick. It's at the 21-minute and 26-second mark. So far, I'm really enjoying the movie. As I said, I think IMDb is at 6.7 right now. For me, it's about a 7.5, but we're barely over 20 minutes into the movie, so you never know. It could come back down, it could go up higher. But you're talking about three of the greatest actors of all time as the stars here. In addition to that, Matt Dillon's in it so far, and Christopher Lloyd. So yeah, I'm sure you know who they are. Christopher Lloyd, Back to the Future, Taxi. So there's a lot of acting power in this movie, and there's a lot of comedy, and the three of them are best friends. I think two of them live together, the other one lives across the street. It would be great to have three best friends this far along in life. So that's pretty exciting for me anyway. I would love to have my best friends living across the street from me when I'm this age, in retirement age. And the reason they can't pay their bills is because the company that they worked for about 30 years has decided to offshore all of the production that they do, whatever it is, the widgets that they make. They offshored it, they outsourced it, they took it to another country, and they're closing their plant within 30 days. In addition to that, they're dissolving their pension. So that would be a really tough blow when you're this close to retirement and somebody takes away something that you thought was coming at the end of your career, your pension and things like that, in addition to losing your job. So that's why they can't pay their bills. Again, I don't think it's a spoiler alert, just helping you along with the plot of the movie. So far so good. I'm really enjoying it. One of the other parts that I wanted to bring up here, that the main reason I stopped this for now, was you're getting a little taste of, their lives, what they do on a day-to-day basis. Of course, I mean, that's building up the entire movie. But Michael Caine's character lives with his daughter and his granddaughter. And one of the things that I really like is that he is standing outside the school of his granddaughter, who's 14 years old, waiting to walk her home. And she makes the joke that, at some point, Grandpa, I'm going to have to start walking home alone. And of course he says, not on my watch. And I think it's great that, grandparents staying involved in their grandkids' life, even at 14, and he's staying involved. I think that's something great to see, and I'm sure there's grandparents out there that do that. And I think that's very special. So I thought I'd just share that with you. I'm going to go back to watching the movie. I'll be back in a little bit because I think there's a lot to share about this movie, and I'm so far really enjoying it. Alright, hey everybody, check-in time. I've now watched the movie for an hour and 4 minutes and 35 seconds, trying to do a little bit more check-ins with you to tell you how the movie's going. So far so good. I'm still rating it at about a 7.5. They were going through, obviously, as I mentioned previously, they're interested in robbing a bank because the company that they were working for is dissolving the company and their pension fund. I had to look into it. They mentioned that their pensions would have paid $45,000 a year after they retired. So that's a big chunk of money that they're going to be missing when they retire, especially when they're planning on it. So the motivation is there for them to attempt to rob the bank. So they go through the training, I guess, in their own eyes of how they're going to end up robbing this bank. So 3 of them who've never been involved in crime or anything like that before devise their own plan and then try and prepare themselves so that they can go in and rob this bank, which they will eventually do. It's not a spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure that's part of the plot. So a lot of comedy along the way. Anne Margaret's in it, somebody I failed to mention in the beginning, but she has a reoccurring role throughout this movie. Matt Dillon, I haven't seen him since the beginning. Christopher Lloyd is in it here and again, but Anne Margaret is a pretty substantial role in it, in addition to the 3 main characters. Again, it's funny, good friendship, good plot around how they're friends and things like that, and they've been together for a long time. I'm really enjoying it. So far I recommend it, at least up to the hour mark. One of the things also I like to do in each one of my movies, a little late for it now, but if you're going to continue to watch movies, and watch them with me, I try and guess, as long as they don't tell you what city they're supposedly in. Most of the movies are made in Hollywood and things like that, but they always try and place them throughout the country. And I always try and look at different landmarks, when they have scenes of bridges, where is that bridge, or the subway or trains, like the L train in Chicago, without looking at license plate, because that's going to give it away. So when you think you know what city it's in, and if they don't mention it throughout the movie, then you start looking for the license plate to see if you were right. So that's a little game I like to play when I watch movies. I have a lot of fun with it, and maybe you will too. So I'm going to get back to watching the movie here. We got about another 30 minutes left until the ending, and I'll check back in either before that or at the end to talk about what I thought about the movie. Okay, see you then. Okay, so the movie just ended. I'm watching the final credits right now. It was a good movie. Now debating, as I mentioned throughout this entire review, I had it at a 7.5, and I think it pretty much stayed at a 7.5 for me. The problem is, I do all my ratings now on IMDb, and you rate on a scale of 1 to 10, of course, and I really, I'm usually very generous. I give a lot of high ratings on IMDb, previously I, gave a 6 on The Wall, was one of the other reviews I just recently did. But as I mentioned, I'm at a 7.5 for this, but you can't give, decimal point scoring in IMDb. It's either a 7 or an 8. So I've been contemplating, do I go with the 7 or the 8 on this one? And then while I really enjoyed the movie, again, there's a lot of good actors in it, had a decent plot, I really found it entertaining. I still think I'm only going to give it a 7. I'm not going to give it an 8. I'm going to reserve for something that really knocks your socks off. 9 and 10s are going to be unbelievable movies, things that I'm really looking forward to. I'll give you an example. I'm a very superhero fan. I'm really excited to see Justice League when that comes out. So I'm hoping that's going to be around a 10 or something like that. But won't automatically give it a 10. It has to be still good because so far DC hasn't done a great job with their superhero movies, so let's hope Justice League lives up to like Wonder Woman, which was a great movie. But back to this movie, Going in Style, good comedy, very entertaining, good acting. I think I've already said all of that. I don't want to give any more of the spoilers away, but I'm gonna take it as a 7, and I think it's really a 7.5, and you should probably round up to an 8, but I think in this case I'm going to leave it at a 7. Worth watching. Decide for yourselves. So hopefully you found this a little entertaining, this review, or at least a little bit informative, and maybe you can make your own decision based on what we've talked about tonight, and you'll tune into it. If you did like this video, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. I'm going to continue to do this. One of the things that I realized when I started this was, it's just something I'm going to enjoy doing, and I really do enjoy. I obviously enjoy watching movies. I also enjoy talking about them. So, I'm going to continue to make these videos, and I'd be interested to know if other people enjoy the videos that I make about these movies. So, if you do, subscribe, like, do whatever you have to do, comment if there's any movies you'd like me to see. And visit kimmelsirishpub.com. I have a lot more videos going on. Kimmelsirishpub.com is dedicated to 3 things: beer, movies, and fantasy football. So if you're into any 3 of those, or any of those 3, or all of them, check it out. Alright, thanks again. I'll see you next time.